Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Christelle Martinette here with an introduction to the readings for the month of April. Now, just to let you know what type of work I'm doing here, I'm going to start with a tarot spread with a deck called Lady Lescott Tarot. Quirky, very quirky deck. Then I'll be using to highlight that two things, depending on how I feel at the moment. The VERA SIBILLA cards that you know, and then this lovely Lenormand deck that my friend Shivani, hi Shivani, had made for me. And I'll be using that as well. And of course the runes. I'm reading for you on the 17th, which would be the new moon. So there is an added energy to these readings and really stepped up insight. Let's get on to the readings, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hello, Aquarius. I have a reading for you now for the month of August. Let's see what's in store for Aquarius for the month of August. Let's see what's in store for Aquarius for the month of August. Aquarius in the month of August. One more. Let's take a look. Let me show you these cards. This is a card that's come up over again in the starting position, the Page of Pentacles. This is the Chariot, the Six of Swords. It's come up in this position for another card, another sign as well. The Nine of Pentacles and the Three of Swords. So let's take a look at this. All right, you come into the month of April asking yourself, you don't ask yourself a question about money, not specifically. You put the notion of finance, money, on the same level as your state of affairs emotionally. For those of you, whether you are excuse me, partnered or not, I see this as a question that it's not even, let me define this. It's not that you start by asking yourself, where am I going? Who am I? What am I? No, it's not an existential question at all. You're evaluating where your life is moving within the concept of your activity. Now, activity, I mean this in a broad sense. Activity of dating, activity of working, activity of doing research, activity of looking for a job, any kind of activity. You're asking yourself, what is my economic value? What do I bring to the table? Both in relationships and in activities, in work, in any kind of, in acting, if you have a hobby of acting, even in that, your hobbies. And what is interesting here to me is that the action that you're prepared to take is exemplified here by the Chariot, which is the Cancer card. Cancer is the June 21st to July 20th. And it seems that there's something there in that period for you that will allow you to move, actually move. I see you as being on the move. You're not on the prowl. You have a direction that you want to take. And you as if you had an antenna out and you're moving your antenna left and right until you pick up something that guides you, that gives you some form of orientation. And indeed, the environment that is characterizing your month of April is the Six of Swords. Now, the Six of Swords is a card of travel, of movement. The Six of Swords is a Mercury, an Aquarius card. It's Mercury in Aquarius. And in this sense, you are on the move. You want to look to a place where you are comfortable in going. I'm seeing this as actually a move that will take place further on down the line in that period of Cancer, actually. Emotionally, what's happening to us emotionally, Aquarius? What's happening to us, Aquarius, emotionally? Well, the Nine of Pentacles here tells us that there is a time. This is Venus in Virgo. There is a time that you're going to come face to face with a person that that has been in your life. Even if they've not been part of your life, they have been in your mind's life for a number of years. I would say even extended out to years. And this is the Virgo period. The Virgo period is August 21st to September 20th. I'm outlining this as a potential move in the period of Cancer, but it's in April is the time when you start the ball rolling in that sense. And the Venus and Virgo period, that Virgo period is when you are going to come face to face to that person, with that person. It will be a meditative, it will be a strategy. And for many of you, I see a good 60-70% of you will have planned it that way, even unbeknownst to you. There is one side of your mind that is planning that, the other side is thinking, no, I don't care. Let's just see what happens, I'm not going to, set my sights on that person ever again, never again, never again. The change now, this is where we have a point of difficulty, and I'm going to highlight that first off. We have the Three of Swords in it's Saturn in Libra, and the Libra period follows the Virgo period. So, this is telling us, this spread, that once you come face to face with that person, with that significant someone, regardless, with that person who has been in you, in your mind, in some form of a relation, at some dimension, in the Libra period right after that, it's going to cause you so much difficulty emotionally. Let's take a card for every top, bottom, top, bottom, top. Yes, the questions are burning when you come into the month of April. It is, what is my economic value? What do I bring to the table? That is the question. What do you bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? And the notion of moving is ultimately for you. This is the cross over that, and I've got the bouquet over the chariot. What ultimately for you is going to mean a new lease on life, actually, is when you can finally take and make that move. And that is that Cancer period. Insidious. There's the snake here in the move in the month of April is when we said the seeds will be planted for the idea of moving. And it's on your mind 24/7. You're thinking, what am I going to do? That is the only thing, excuse me, that's the only thing that really would give me a push in the right direction, I feel. And emotionally, what do we have? Meeting the person in the Virgo period. Look, it's going to be touch and go, the clouds. It's going to be touch and go for you. And then, ultimately, what do we have? When the Libra period comes and the heartache begins, we have the paths, the road, the choice to make. Where do I go from here? Shall I go forward? shall I call it a day? Shall I just turn and close the book, open a new book? And that's what I'm seeing here. I'll take a look at, let me go find that rune, the rune, and good thing, I'll put it off to the side. Now, even though this is a reading for the month of April, I have seen a plan being traced out into the future. And what's quite telling here for me is first a confirmation of the fact, Fehu, that you do come into the month of April and say, what am I bringing to the table? What am I bringing to the table? And you mean that on the job, but you also mean that in terms of a relationship, ultimately, but you don't say that in so many words to yourself. Very pressing issue, Thurisat's Brightstave. Very, very pressing issue. The movement, and yes, Yara tells us that it will be further down the line, but it will, the process of birthing the place where you want to go, and the timing is going to take time as well. There's going to be, this is Anzu's Brightstave, there's going to be a Andiag, a very interesting period in the month of April. You on one dimension, if it's not in face-to-face time, on some dimension, you have interaction with this person, even subtle, in a subtle way, through social media, the liking, this and that, and this, everything speaks to you in some way, and it's an indication of what that person is feeling. There is some form, therefore, of interaction, and that causes you to truly think and go within and say, what do I really want? What is it that I really want? And that question is going to be coming up over and over again. What do I really want? The abundance, the spiritual abundance and the meeting with this person, I do see it, and I do see it as a moment of high joy, Manat's Brightstave. I do see the movement, Awats, and I see it on your terms, Weird. It's a risk. Aljit's Merkstave says you don't have a safety net for that. That is a risk you have to take in that period, in the Virgo period. And then the decision comes up, but what fell on the ground here? What fell on the floor? This is Tyr Brightstave, and I picked it up as Brightstave. Aquarius, the runes, the casting are trying to say to you that we're here, and it's not in relation to any Tom, Dick, and Harry, Sue, sweetheart, Christina. It's not in relation to another soul. We're here to serve a purpose, a higher purpose. Whatever your decision will be, the fact that you decide, Weird, and you make the decision on your terms is what ultimately brings you success in your service. A very complex reading, ladies and gentlemen, Aquarius friends. I do hope this was of help to you. Namaste, and old subscribers, thank you for sticking around. I do appreciate that. New subscribers, welcome to my channel. Until we read together again, bye-bye.